Hello everybody, this is Mr. Howell at Chertsey High School, and this week's theme of the week is trust. In this assembly I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions and some of Chertsey High School's thoughts and opinions about this hugely important word. A word that underpins everything that we try to do and the way in which we try to do things in our daily lives, both in and outside of school. This little message on the side says, respect is earned, honesty is appreciated, trust is gained, loyalty is returned. So I interpret this as trust as being part of a process, part of something which is hugely important in the relationships between human beings and probably every other animal on the planet as well. And if we take trust out, I think all of that crumbles. And we've probably all experienced at some point in our lives as well where trust has broken down, where trust has ruined something or has made something really difficult to rebuild, like a friendship or a relationship in a family. I think back to when I was a little boy and I put my finger in my hamster's cage, and that hamster of course had a little nibble, and it took a long time for me to build that trust and the relationship with that hamster again. And I'm sure you will all have found and will find in the future it's quite a difficult thing to do, to build trust and to gain it, to earn it from other people. There are of course things we can do to build trust, to develop it. And that's something that we talk about a huge amount in school, particularly sometimes when we might have two people that have fallen out, and children do it, adults do it, and we all have to think about our behaviour and our actions and the words that we use and the way that we want to be portrayed within society. Do we want to be someone that can be trusted? Boundaries are hugely important when creating trust. I'd like to think that my son trusts me partly because he knows I will be consistent and that I won't accept certain negative behaviour or certain bad language or certain silly activities, silly actions that he might well take part in. And I think you will probably agree, as much as we are a firm school with high expectations, there are lots of boundaries in place, and you all know where those boundaries are. And with time, that helps build a sense of trust that we are going to be consistent like we were the time before and the time before that. And you can trust in us that we will uphold the highest of standards. And I think it's important you do that, therefore, with your own people around you, your family and your friends. And also, when you think about school, we want trust to work both ways, don't we? We want you to trust us and us to be able to trust you. We have to trust, particularly younger people, that they are going to be able to learn to do things on their own with time. We trust that you're working hard, if possible, during this lockdown period. We know some of you will have support from your families and some can't have that support because we've got parents out working or parents that aren't well, parents that have to look after other people as well. And this is a really challenging time for everyone. And we trust that you will get in contact with us if you need that support and that guidance that you might be lacking elsewhere. It's hugely important to be consistent, as I said before, and reliable, dependable. That way you are going to build trust. And I think trust brings with it a certain sense of stability and contentment and happiness. If you can live in a world of trust, in a bubble of trust where you've got your nearest and dearest, your friends, your families, your teachers, that you can lean on them and they can lean on you, and you won't let each other down, that will make for a happy world and a happy life. Trust is also about listening and about being able to listen and being faithful to the people you're listening to. You want to know, if you're talking to someone, that you can trust them, that they're going to listen and not share your news and your secrets, that you can rely on them, that they've got your back and you've got their back. And that's what life is about. It's about spending time, years often, building those relationships. Because there are times, and there might not be now, when you will need those people around you. And if you're able to maintain a level of respect and trust and faith amongst you as a group of people, you will always have each other to lean on and to rely on. I think it's also very important to remember that we're talking about respect and privacy and understanding. We live in a world where rights and freedoms are being challenged and questioned on a daily basis, and that probably has always happened throughout the history of mankind and will continue to happen. But if we can build a society, and whether we're looking at the wider society outside of our school that we're part of, or even the Chertsey High School society, the family in which we live, if we can build a sense of positive relationships all the time, good levels of trust and respect, then that will enable us all to feel comfortable, to feel informed, and to feel ready to go out and tackle the world beyond the walls of Chertsey High School. We like to think that we can trust people and we can share information and that we can tell each other things that we might sometimes not want to share immediately, or we might not want to share with certain people like our family. And that's where friends really come in handy, because a good friend is non-judgmental. You can tell them anything and they will say, "It's okay. Thank you for sharing that with me. Do you want to talk about it? You can come and talk to me anytime you want." That's what I would say is probably the best friend. It is okay to be what you want to be, whoever you want to be. That is you. And the more you feel able to talk about that with those people around you, that's brilliant. This is something I think that's particularly relevant in a school setting. It's very, very tempting to go and tell someone something and then share it possibly, or have it shared. And again, I think of my son when I say, don't tell so-and-so, don't tell grandma maybe that we had one of her chocolate biscuits. And as a 3-year-old, the first thing he wants to do, of course, is to go and tell grandma that we had, might have had the whole box. But the point being is that with time, we build a conscience, we build an understanding that will break trust, and it will break a relationship over time. There is only probably one exception to this, and that would be if the information that friend was sharing or that person was sharing was so significantly worrying and potentially damaging that we must share it. And in that situation, we'd share it with a responsible adult, one of your immediate family, or again, one of your teachers, who have all been trained to deal with these situations appropriately. And it wouldn't be breaking someone's trust, it would be doing the right thing in that situation. But certainly sharing some rumours and gossip on the playground is definitely not what we're talking about here. To summarise, I think that trust is about respecting boundaries, building boundaries, understanding where they are, and responding to those appropriately. We've set up a school that is built around trust and respect and listening to people. We talk to our student council members regularly to find out exactly how people are feeling in the school. We talk to our staff to find out how they're feeling. We give out student surveys to find out how they're feeling. We talk to parents to find out how they're feeling. And that's all part of building that sense of relationship and trust that comes with it. And don't forget, relationships can be lost very easily by breaking that trust that we've spent so long building. So my advice is to be a good friend, be reliable, be loving, and be someone that can be trusted. And all of that falls under the umbrella of knowledge, determination, and love. It's the love, the friendships, the relationships that you've built. Trust is absolutely key. Have a wonderful week. Bye for now.